All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you got enough caffeine in you to get through the rest of the afternoon session. So our next topic is something I know everyone is always very eager to learn about. I hope she approved of our snacks and our lunch. So our topic is diet and nutrition. We have Chloë Schweinshaut, who's joining us, who is a registered dietitian who owns a private practice, Riverside Nutrition, in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She works with a variety of clients, including first responders who are looking for ways to improve their health through diet and lifestyle, as well as companies who hire her to do corporate wellness. Chloë is a nutritionist for Boston Fire Department and helps oversee their in-house wellness program, Health and Ladders, and has worked with FDNY, Cambridge Fire Department, Boston Police Department, and many more to lead healthier lifestyles by helping them with issues such as weight loss, cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. She also serves on the Nutrition Advisory Committee for the First Responders Center of Excellence for Reducing Occupational Illness, Injuries, and Deaths. So without further ado, Chloë. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today to talk with you about diet and nutrition in the fire services. So I am a registered dietitian, and why am I showing you a bunch of pictures of houses? Well, it turns out nutrition is a lot like building a house. There are so many different styles out there. You may prefer modern, or you may be a center entrance colonial guy. Doesn't matter. Who am I to say what's right, what's wrong? All I care about is that they have a really good foundation and that they function well. So it's a lot like nutrition. The world of nutrition is incredibly confusing, even for someone like me who is in it. So hopefully we can navigate that today. And I've got a huge vested interest in this. My husband is a firefighter up in Cambridge, Mass. It's obviously, this is near and dear to my heart, keeping you all happy and healthy. Healthy Response is my company that I started a few years ago devoted specifically to first responder health and wellness. And currently I am the nutritionist for the Boston Fire Department. So today I'm going to talk to you about foods, I'm going to talk to you about habits, I'm going to talk to you about lifestyle changes you can make, but I want to share with you what we're doing up in Boston because we're having a lot of fun and a lot of success too. So Health and Ladders is Boston Fire's first ever in-house health and wellness program. We formed it a little over about 2 years ago now for all 1,600 members. And how it works is there are 3 team leaders. It's myself and then 2 Boston Fire lieutenants. And then we have 14 district heads. And their job, they're our boots on the ground people. They're out there, they're helping us run challenges that we have. They're keeping their eyes and ears out for folks who want to be helped, and then they can push them in my direction. They're also keeping their eyes and ears out for folks who need to be helped but aren't going to ask for help, and push them in my direction too. And so to date, we've done several multi-10-week body composition challenges. We use something called the In-Body Machine. We do monthly firehouse challenges, and these can be anything from, log your miles on the treadmill to, how many push-ups and sit-ups you can do. We try to get creative with them and just try to make them interactive. We also do the orientations for the Boston Fire Cadets, the Metro Fire Recruit class. We're taking over those programs as well. We've built a website, so trying to get members to engage that way. We've got monthly newsletters that go out. This fall, we ran something called the Fall Back into Health Challenge, which was an 8-week eating challenge, and each week it was designed to give members exposure to different types of eating. So one week we did plant-based, then we did a Mediterranean diet, then so really just everything to kind of whet their appetite and see if one type of eating worked better for them than the others. One of the things that I'm most proud of is our resolution challenge. So last year I approached the chiefs and said, can we run a New Year's resolution challenge? And we build it as, 8 weeks. I'm going to send out meal plans and recipes. You can use them or not. I'm here for support. I'm here for guidance. I gave tips. I gave tricks. So last year we had 96 signups. So anytime 2 firefighters listen to me, I get excited. So 96 felt like a really big deal, especially for our first year off the bat. But this year we had 613 signups, which was a 539% increase over last year. So I got really excited because it means it's working. And we're just going into our last and final week of it now, but it's been fantastic to have members see their progress both on the scale, but then we're also surveying them and reaching out to them. They have unlimited access to me, so I'm hearing a lot of other non-scale victories, increased energy, things like that as well. So that's a little bit about Health and Ladders. This is what our website looks like. Again, it's put together by us, so nothing crazy fancy, but this is the nutrition page. So on the nutrition page, I've put up things like breakfast options, lunch and dinner options, foods to bring on shifts details, things like that. And then we've made a bunch of educational handouts too. And you're gonna see these challenge guidelines I leave up for people just to always remember, kind of my big nutrition core habits that we'll talk about in this presentation as well. And then every week I hold office hours, so from 11 to 12 on Wednesdays, they can click on that button and join a Google Meet and ask me any questions they have, anything like that. So just a little bit, and then there's a members chat where, if they have a question, one of us three team leads will get back to them as well. So trying to get them as engaged as possible. So currently for Boston Fire, this is the nutrition services that I provide. I counsel individual members, but also any family members, because it's not fair, I don't think, to just talk to firefighters if their spouse or partner at home is the one doing the cooking, the prepping, the shopping, or just needs to also go on a health journey, a weight loss journey, whatever, with them. So also I write a lot of articles, recipes, guiding the rehab unit in selecting healthier options, all the training development for the nutrition education programs we run, presentations for headquarters, academy classes, things like that, and then meal planning for district challenges. So how do we do this? How do we get 1,600 people engaged and excited about nutrition? How do I get a room full of you guys to walk out of here today feeling like you learned something about health and nutrition and get really excited about it too, because there's so many different challenges to that. Some of you in here may know so much about nutrition. You may know more than me. Some of you might not know anything about nutrition. Some of you guys love every single food out there. You love your vegetables. Other of you may not touch a vegetable with a 10-foot pole. There's past medical histories to contend with, which would put someone on a specific diet or meal plan. If someone has an injury, they have very different needs than someone who doesn't. If someone who's very physically active, you get the picture. But meal timing is one of the things that presents the biggest challenges, right? Because it's so unpredictable. It's so hard to determine when calls are coming in and anything like that, so it's hard to come up with a consistent meal timing schedule. So anyways, lots of challenges we face, but how I'm gonna get you guys really excited about your nutrition and how I'm gonna get you guys to leave here feeling like you learned something is by talking about habits. And that's what we work on the most with firefighters in Boston Fire, is working on their habits. Again, that solid foundation of the house. So these are the most common nutrition problems that I'm seeing in fire services. I don't think that these are the most common nutrition problems in all of fire services. I can't make that blanket statement, but me personally, this is what I tend to see the most of. So weight, specifically members who need to lose weight. And they're coming to me saying they have issues with portion control, that they have issues with stress eating or sport eating. They're coming to me saying that they're eating way too fast. Inconsistent schedules play a really big part in that, is that they don't know when they're going to be able to finish their meal, so they're eating a bunch of meals and they're eating at wonky times. Getting takeout is another big one, and then alcohol. Digestion is another huge issue I see. IBS, IBD, bloating, gas, abdominal pain, that feeling of always needing to lie down after you eat, all of that. Then lipids and blood pressure, high cholesterol, triglycerides, things like that. A lot of people are coming to me saying, look, I'm on medications, I want to get off of them, help me get off of them, what can I do with diet and lifestyle? And then energy levels, this one always surprises me, but I'm really happy people are making the connection between low energy and how can I change my food intake to improve that. So again, these are just the most common ones I see. So here are the 4 core habits that I love everyone to work on, and I won't work with anyone on specific food choices that they have or that they want to make until these habits are down pat. So water, number 1, all of you, I want you drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water every single day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that means it's 100 ounces of water. We know that water helps remove toxins, can help prevent certain types of cancer. We know it's really important for joint lubrication, mental clarity, the list could go on and on and on. Also, 3 meals and 1 snack. We'll talk about this in a few other slides too, but digestion is really important for overall nutrition, obviously. But having 3 meals and 1 snack, as opposed to an outdated piece of advice, which would be to like snack every 1 to 2 hours to keep your metabolism up, no. It's a really good way to gain weight. And it also, if your digestive system is constantly working like that, it's going to be exhausted, which is going to drain your energy levels too. So 3 square meals, maybe 1 snack a day if you need it. Making sure that all of those meals and snack have a combination of a protein, a healthy fat, and a fiber. We also know if we're looking at, you've seen my plate, half of it, fruit and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are incredibly important. I don't need to tell you guys that. But having a visual, what I say is just try to fill half of your lunch and dinner plate with fruits and vegetables. I really don't care if the other half is fettuccine Alfredo or anything like that. Really just try to get half of your plate for lunch and dinner filled with fruits and vegetables. It'll go a long way to overall nutrition too. Also, having that combination of those 3, protein and healthy fat, are going to be the 2 nutrients that sit in your stomach the longest. So they're going to keep you satiated. And it's that fiber and protein, they're going to keep your blood sugar from going too high or not too low, just kind of keeping it at a nice even keel too. And then meal timing. This is huge, especially in fire services. Unless you guys have a crazy fire in the middle of the night and you need to replenish your stores, I don't want you guys eating anytime after 7 p.m. It's really crucial for overall health, for digestion, weight, everything, to really try to finish eating as early as possible. Our bodies don't like to digest a big meal later on in the evening as well. Stress and nutrition. This is the other piece. All right, so I've worked with one of you guys. We've worked on the 4 core habits. You're like, this is great. I'm feeling good. Now what? Okay, so now we're going to talk about stress and nutrition. Why? Well, we know that stress raises our body's metabolic needs. And with that, it increases our excretion of certain nutrients, which can deplete certain nutrients. Things like magnesium, zinc, the B vitamins, they tank under times of stress. It also will impair our digestion. That's because increased stress will decrease the acids that are needed to break down food, which means it'll sit in your stomach longest, cause the digestive issues like reflux, bloating, gas, things like that too. Stress also can cause us to overeat due to the release of the stress hormone cortisol, which can raise our blood sugar really high, and when it comes crashing down, we're going to be craving those really sugary, fatty foods, things that aren't that great for our overall health. And we also know that increased cortisol can also lead to weight gain, specifically in the abdominal area. It's where cortisol loves to sit. So if someone comes to me and they say, I need to lose weight specifically in the abdominal area, we know that we've got to work on this. Okay, so now you're saying, this is great, Chloe, this is cute. I'm not a stressed out person. And what I would say is, okay, that's fine. You may not feel stress, but the nature of your job is really stressful. So even if you don't have that emotional stress, you're going to have a physical stressor. So things that'll cause emotional stress, the calls that you go on, the things that you see and hear, those are really big stressors. The irregular sleep patterns that you all hold, these are really bad stressors on the body. The way in which you wake up in the middle of the night, that jarring alarm, that is a huge stress on your body. Eating too quickly, shoveling that food in to the point where you need to lay down after you eat, that stresses your digestive system out, which is a stress on your body. And then eating too much, the same thing. So even if you don't feel stressed out, which is great, I hope none of you do, your bodies are always under crazy amounts of stress due to the nature of this job. So what can you do? Because there is nothing more stressful in life than having a perky little nutritionist come up here and say, just don't stress, guys, it's easy. So we really need to work on what we can control, and we can control the controllables through nutrition. So first and foremost, water. Even if you're slightly dehydrated, cortisol levels can become increased. And we know cortisol is that stress hormone, which is important for some things, but we don't want it running wild all the time in our life. We also want to focus on chewing our food more. This will help us slow down. This will help with digestive issues. So what is it? So it's 20 chews per bite of food. So tonight at dinner, you can have my annoying little voice in your head and count away and see where you're at. You may be totally fine. You may need to slow way down. As a general rule of thumb, please don't put the fork back in your mouth until you've swallowed what's in there. It sounds basic, but it's true. Breathing. Breathing's incredibly important and something that may sound weird to talk about in a nutrition presentation, but if you think about when we're really stressed, our whole body clenches up like this. So does our digestive system. That's what happens. So we need to breathe and relax. And so many digestive ailments I see absolutely vanish if people just do a round of box breathing before meals, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. If you do that a couple times before you breathe, especially if you're just coming back from a call and you just need a second to kind of de-stress, this is a great, great habit to overdo. Standing post-meal. We know that standing and moving around, even if you can take a 5-minute walk around the firehouse after you eat, will help lower your blood sugar. One of our totally tremendous, I have to brag about it, wins this year is we got a member completely off of his type 2 diabetes medications. He reversed it through diet, which was really, really cool. But it was kind of an uphill battle because he loved to eat everything, which was great, but he also loved to eat everything, which was really, really hard. So we had to focus on a lot of habit and lifestyle changes. And one of the things that was kind of, I always said to him, I was like, what are your non-negotiables? He wouldn't give up certain things when it came to food, but one of the things we did get him in the habit of was standing after meals. That started to lower his blood sugar. This alone didn't cure his type 2 diabetes, but it was one of the tools in his arsenal that absolutely went a long way too. Don't eat past dinner. We don't like late night eating. Balance your plate, that combination of protein, healthy fats, and fiber for every single meal or snack. Spacing your meals out. I say 3 to 4 hours is a really good amount of time to give your body a chance to break down food before you're putting more food in it as well. And if you're someone who suffers from acid reflux, before you start going crazy giving up foods, like should I be giving up citrus or tomato sauce, before you go nuts doing that, you can try doing this, which is to not drink liquids with your meals because the liquids can dilute the acids that are needed to break down the food. So if you want to try that before going on medication, before giving up foods that you may really like, I would stop drinking liquids 20 minutes before you start eating, and then start drinking liquids 20 minutes after you stop eating. So 20 minutes on either side as well. So those are some ways to reduce stress through eating. So I know we've gone almost the whole presentation without me actually talking about specific foods for firefighters to eat. So again, those habits are so crucial for overall health. But when I am okay, we've built that foundation, we figured out the house is going to function well, so now when we're starting to do, the design work on it, foods for firefighters to get more of. Water, first and foremost. I've talked about how important it is for overall health. That really is the basis for fantastic nutrition, lifelong nutrition, not just on the job, but into retirement, just getting in the habit of drinking water. Cruciferous vegetables, so that's broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale. Those contain a compound called glucosinolates, which are really good at helping the body's natural detoxification systems as well as the immune system function well. They're also a great source of fiber. Glutathione-rich foods are another food that I love for firefighters to get more of because they're really good at helping the body get rid of toxins because they bind to toxins and heavy metals and help make them water soluble so they can better be excreted through stool or through urine. It's a master antioxidant in our body. It helps with the immune function. Glutathione, I could talk for the whole day on the importance of glutathione, but it needs a lot of other things to be made. So like vitamin C-rich foods, selenium-rich foods, selenium Brazil nuts, sulfur-rich foods like broccoli, cauliflower, things like that too. And then there are a few foods that are naturally high in glutathione, but avocados, okra, asparagus, whey protein, Those are all really good as well. Fiber, so important. We talked about, obviously, the importance of fruits and vegetables, but again, making sure that 50% of your plate is fruits and vegetables, primarily vegetables, is a really good way to start this. Also, things like whole grains, beans, lentils, psyllium husk. This is a population that, like supplements sometimes. So this is where a Benefiber or Metamucil could be really good, especially if you're trying to do things like lower your cholesterol levels, become more regular, things like that. Fiber is great for overall health. Women need 25 grams a day and men need about 38 grams a day. So it's a good amount too. And then protein. Protein, we know it can be associated with healthy aging, but what we also know is it's important to vary your sources, and a lot of the research is looking at more plant-based proteins too. So, I would be a hypocrite if I said, go vegan, I love meat, but I just try to get some plant-based protein sources in there as well. So again, nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, tofu, edamame, things like that as well. So foods for firefighters to get less of. Number one, alcohol. In this past resolution, I always save the one where I get booed off the stage for last. With this past resolution we ran, we actually said, please try not to drink for 8 weeks. It coincided really nicely with dry January, so I had a bunch of fun mocktail recipes and things like that too. But we know alcohol doesn't do the body much good. It impacts our sleep, it impairs our immune function, it inhibits the body's ability to burn fat by 30%. So it's really tough to want to lose weight if alcohol plays a consistent role in your life. It makes you depressed, it's not great for your recovery. More than anything, what I do say with firefighters is if you do have a fire, it can be habit to go out, have a few beers after that. Please try not to drink for a few days after a fire. Your liver is working overtime. All your systems, lungs, detoxification systems are working overtime to get rid of everything that you were just exposed to. It has to metabolize alcohol out of your system first, because alcohol is really toxic when it breaks down, so it has to. So try not to give it too much to do. Just give your system a break if you can. The other thing, reduce added sugar. And I'm not talking... I do get a lot of people ask me, should I reduce the amount of fruit I have? No, do not reduce the amount of fruit. I want you to reduce the amount of added sugar. So sugar that's been added back into foods, not natural sugars that are occurring in fruit and milk and yogurts and things like that as well. So the recommendation is no more than 9 teaspoons a day for men, which is 38 grams, or 6 teaspoons a day, which is about 25 grams for women of added sugar. Artificial sweeteners, I know that this can be a divisive topic. Where I'm coming from, the research shows they do alter our gut bacteria. We know that our gut bacteria holds the keys to the kingdom when it comes to overall health, so I don't really love foods that mess with that too much. But also, if the whole goal is to reduce our cravings for sugar, artificial sweeteners are so naturally sweet, they're not going to help us do that. They're going to make us crave sweet foods more. So I don't love them for that reason. They have been linked to some migraine issues, but also digestive ailments. I see a lot of people who have bloating, gas, abdominal discomfort, and they have diets that are loaded with artificial sweeteners. Processed meats, true story, I did get booed out of a room once a few years ago of FBI agents when they asked me how much bacon they should be eating, and I thought once a month was a good answer, and I just totally basically got shoes thrown at me. But really, please don't eat too much processed meats. We know they're not great. I'm not saying never eat them again, but they are definitely a once in a while food. I thought once a month was being generous, but I definitely, if somebody has bacon, a firefighter has bacon in their life every single day, let's work to kind of cut it back a little bit too. And charred meats, just because they can form the heterocyclic amines, which we know are known potential carcinogens. So what I tell people is it's not, I know this is a big grilling population, I like to grill meat myself, so it's not don't grill, the message has to be don't blacken your meat, marinate it first, flip it often, cook it on a lower temperature, and don't eat it well done, which I don't know why you would anyways, but please don't eat it well done when it comes to your health as well. So that's my presentation. Here's my contact information, and I'd love if anyone has any questions. I'd love to try and answer them. No? Okay, all right, well, great, thank you. Yes, exactly, that's it. Yeah, it's a great. Eaten in over 12 hours. So I just wondered what your thoughts were? Yes, absolutely. Do you want to answer this?
Yes, I'm just going to repeat for the people online if they couldn't hear. So they're asking your thoughts on intermittent fasting.
So many thoughts. It's a great question. So in general, I do like it for this population with a bunch of caveats. I like it for this population because it gives those black and white rules, and I know that firefighters, some of you tend to be all or nothing personalities, and living in the gray area can be hard. So I like that it kind of gives people that, okay, I shouldn't eat at all hours of the night. That being said, I really don't like hearing that, and that tells me that that person was fasting for way too long. I say generally as a good rule of thumb, a 12-hour fast is fantastic. You know, like that can be an intermittent fast. You should give your body 12 hours a night. I do get worried if people are doing extended fasts in this profession, not on your off days, that's different, but if you're choosing to do, you know, over a 16-hour fast, when you're on the job, that can be dicey just because you don't know the kind of day you're going to have. You know, maybe more likely than not, you're going to have a quiet day or just go on a few runs. But if you have a really big fire and you're fasting like that, your stores are going to be so depleted. The other thing about intermittent fasting is if your body will also give you signals when it's stressed out and it doesn't want you to do it anymore. So what will that look like? For women, it can be hormonal changes. For anyone, it can be sleep disturbances and disruptions all of a sudden, more so than usual. It can be changes in mood. It can be changes in heart rate. But if you're starting to experience those things and you're fasting, I would cut it back a little bit because you definitely can get stressed out. But in general, I am a fan of the 12-hour fasting window, but I hear exactly, I don't know where you are anymore, but I hear exactly what you're saying, where that can be dangerous as well. Yeah.
One of my major concerns with firefighters is when I examine them and say, my goodness, they looks great. They looks very healthy. Why kidney function tests, for example, are affected? And when I ask, no past medical history, no family history of problem, they don't have nothing, they don't have symptoms, but the kidneys is affected. Because very high protein diet, which is a mistake.
Yeah.
Because they have to be fasting sometimes. Pick something fast, they go to protein bar.
Yeah.
And they probably take more than 3 or 4 in a day, plus meat when they go home, you know? So other than that, it's very important for me when I make recommendation to firefighters to prevent, is when you do exercise, it's not only lifting weight to look great. No, running is important. Not only for the kidneys, not only for the weight to look great, it's for the cardiovascular health also. Okay?
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for bringing this, and I hope everyone take my recommendation.
Yeah, no, it's a great point.
And I love firefighters.
Any other questions?
I think we're good.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, Chloe.